Hello, everyone. We are very pleased for the opportunity to introduce to the Ignite stage the IRP guidance note, or more specifically, the guidance for implementing Build Back Better in recovery, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. 10 years ago, we are confronted by the question, why the need to build back better? Back then, we realized that there was a knowledge gap in this area. It was obvious that most of the documents, plans, and policies were focused on issues in mitigation, preparedness, and relief phases of disaster management. However, for disaster recovery-related issues, the need was for more cohesive body of knowledge that policymakers and recovery planners can use or refer. The availability of knowledge products reflecting past practice and lessons learned is critical for Build Back Better. Past experiences and lessons need to be documented, compiled, and shared to facilitate knowledge sharing. It is in this regard the IRP has compiled the 12 guidance notes in cooperation with the IRP Steering Committee members since 2010. These guidance notes draw from documented experiences of past and present recovery efforts collected through desk review and consultation with relevant experts. The materials are presented in the form of cases. Each of the thematic guidance notes provides an analysis of many cases, highlighting key lessons and noting points of caution and clarification. Of course, the same activity will not generate similar results across all contexts, but it is worth sharing to inspire, to generate contextually relevant ideas and where appropriate to adapt and apply. You may wonder what IRP is and why it can initiate the development of these guidance notes. IRP is a unique partnership of government and institutions that have common interests for Build Back Better in recovery, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. It does not directly implement project activities. Instead, it functions as a platform for partners to periodically meet to exchange lessons and ideas that will promote recovery best practices and learnings, as well as capacity building. Its activities are governed by a steering committee, see 16 logos, and supported by a small secretariat based in Kobe, Japan, which is hosted by Japanese government, Hyogo Prefecture in Japan, ADRC, and UNISDR. My colleague will now demonstrate the value added of these guidance notes to DRR stakeholders and wider community of practice.
3 words: build back better. Question mark. There are many perspectives. There are many opinions and views, and Build Back Better has been discussed specifically in this platform. Maybe because the reason for that is for greater understanding and also for appropriate guidance. Let's take a look at different perspectives. Great Hanshin Awaja Earthquake, 1995. This earthquake revealed that railways and elevated tracks are the weak points in one of the infrastructures in Japan. So what the government did is a nationwide reinforcement of those elevated structures and railways. In 2003, they had another earthquake, the Sanriku. And then again, they did a lot of reinforcement on those tracks, elevated tracks and railways. And as a result, in 2011, Great East Japan earthquake, most of these tracks and railways sustained the impact of 9 magnitude earthquake. And very quickly, most of the Shinkansen, bullet train, they operated in a quick period of time. Gujarat Earthquake, 2001. This is in Bhuj. This earthquake revealed that these tiny roads, a lot of dead ends, pose a great challenge to response and also recovery. Because imagine there are a lot of debris. How can you have a proper road for evacuation? And how can you clear all this debris with a lot of dead ends of the road? So when they rebuild, they have this in mind. They made wider roads and less open-ended and good connections. Indian Ocean tsunami. This is Aceh province. Before the tsunami, there was a long history of insurgency. The province was one of the poorest provinces in Indonesia. And the tsunami recovery was an opportunity. Just 5 years after, look at the capital, Banda Aceh. It's like a booming sign of development. And you might wonder, what are the common factors that thread this together? So our guidance notes are case studies. These are compilations of different experiences worldwide. And we observe that recovery is generally a complex process. And these cases demonstrate how they address these challenges. Issues of policies and strategies, they were able to manage that one. Institutional arrangement, funding mechanism, how they manage recovery process, this coordination and all these things. These are common on these cases. Let's take a look in a very more specific case, and this is the case of Japan. So these are the 3 epoch disasters in Japan. One is during the 1950s. Look at the casualties. 1995, look at the casualties. And 2011. So it means that the impact of disasters and the nature of disasters vary. But Japan demonstrates to be resilient. And this asks the question, why Japan can build back better? We look at our case studies and made some analysis, and there are 3 insights we can give to you. First, Japan demonstrates readiness to recover. Recovery begins even before the disaster happened. This is the case of Tokyo Metropolitan Government. They are anticipating an earthquake they called Nankai Trough. And even before that earthquake, they already prepare how to recover. And this is one of the examples of their plans. And we document the cases in our guidance notes in a pre-disaster recovery planning. Second insight, there is a deliberate action to strengthen areas of weaknesses. Recovery is seen as an opportunity to address failures or to correct those failures. See, the limitation in before the 2011 is that the communities, the houses are prone to impact of tsunami. So what they did is they move it to a higher and elevated ground. So they address this kind of weaknesses, and it is deliberate action. And we reflect these cases in our guidance notes. And this is the third insight. There is a consistent promotion of culture of resilience, meaning to say, they integrated readiness in people's lifestyle. You look at the train, there are announcements. You look at the mobile phones, there are announcements. In the curriculum of the school, almost in every lifestyle, it's integrated. And for them, readiness has become normal. It's not something that you have to deliberately do at one time because it's part of the lifestyle. And this is the case of regular drills. And aside from this, there are also museums, there are lectures, and many others. So again, these are reflected in our guidance notes. So that is in brief are the lessons and the guide and insights on how to build back better. There are different perspectives, but there are also lessons that can be learned that can be appropriate in every context. And if these lessons are appropriate in this particular context, then maybe we can apply these insights. So for details, actually, you can download all these resources, cases based, in www.recoveryplatform.org. Thank you so much. If they have some questions, I think we can allow because we still have some time. Okay, thank you so much. Oh yeah, question.
Thank you very, very much indeed for your insightful presentation. Banda Aceh in Indonesia also recovered very, very well indeed, as you showed us. What do you think were the factors that also led to that excellent recovery? Were they similar or the same with what obtains in your country?
Okay. Again, it's very contextual, but here there are many observations from our documents. One, they own the recovery process. It is the government that owned the recovery process. They did all the decisions, and of course, there are a lot of mobilizations, and there is strong leadership, because this is also very important, because there are dynamics. There are different dynamics in every communities, in every, there are politics in it. So if you have a very strong, that you're able to manage this leadership, these different dynamics, then you have to implement the recovery. And this is one of the factors in Banda Aceh. And not in Banda Aceh, but in Aceh Anias. Thank you.